Hello friends and welcome back to Kowalski Mountain. I'm Barbara Sue. I am the creator of the blog KowalskiMountain.com. When I started sewing my hunting cushions, I had intended to make a single video creating 2 cushions. But I had too much footage, and so I've broken this up into 2 parts. If you missed the first video, you want to be sure to check it out here where I repair a hunting cushion that a squirrel ate. In today's video, I'm going to be making from scratch a cushion cover for a double hunting stand. Now this is going to include buttonholes that will allow me to put straps on the cushion so it can be strapped to the stand. So come along and check it out. I learned a lesson from my last cushion, and rather than fight with the fabric on my little tiny dining room table, I laid that bolt of fabric on my bed and used that as my cutting area. It was a lot easier to manage the fabric in a much larger space. This cushion is a fitted cushion. It has 2 rectangular pieces for the top and the bottom, and then a narrow strip that is pieced in between. Now, because my last cushion fits so tightly, I added a little extra to give me some extra wiggle room in this project. The first seam is pinned, so it's time to sew it together. Now this was a lot easier to sew than the last cushion because I didn't have such bulky seams. Now to piece the corners. I haven't sewn in a while and I forgot that I needed to stop a 1/4 inch from the end of the fabric, so I'm having to adjust to make it work. Once it's pinned, it's easy to sew together. Now I have to put some buttonholes on the back. The straps are going to go through. I'm a little nervous about this part. I actually had Philip mark the cushion where he wanted the straps to go through, but after I brought it back into the house, I couldn't see my black marks on the camouflage fabric. So I kind of winged it a little bit of where I thought they were supposed to be, but I got it a little bit off. Using a specially designed buttonhole foot, I was able to make the seams for the buttonholes. You do a simple stitch at the end of the buttonhole. It does a zigzag along the edge of the buttonhole. You do a finishing stitch on the other end, and then you zigzag back to the starting point. The foot makes it easy to get the job done. I've had my sewing machine for probably 25 years, and it came with a buttonhole foot. I'm assuming they still come with them, but honestly, I'm not sure. After sewing the buttonholes, you take a sharp, pointy pair of scissors and you cut open the space in between the zigzags. Oh, that one's crooked. Now that the buttonholes are finished, it's time to attach the bottom piece to the rest of the cushion to put it all together. You can see the cushion coming together as I'm piecing these corners, and you're seeing the cushion start to take shape. I try not to sew over my pin, stopping before each one to remove it. There's nothing more frustrating than finishing an entire seam and finding out your bobbin thread was empty. I'll have to load the bobbin again with new thread and repin and resew the entire seam. So I've pinned the corner, and I need to stop about a ½ inch in because that's where my seam allowance is, and I will sew that seam to make that edge. Now I stuck my finger up inside to make sure that the fabric is not underneath the needle where it's going to get caught in the seam, and it's fine, so I can get started. So I have two sides of my cover completely sewn. I have one side left that I'm going to sew with the machine. The end is going to have to be hand sewn because it has to be done after the cover is in. So let's get this pinned. This is one reason that I sew quilts, because a quilt always fits. Clothes are much harder. And I have made clothes a very long time ago. And I made some adorable clothes for my children. And I made clothes for myself. And they were fine, but I did not enjoy it. So I do not sew clothes. And this is kind of like clothes because it has to fit. And I did make this a little bit looser than the other seat because I found that I needed more wiggle room than I allowed myself. With that last project, the fit was a lot more tight than I really wanted it. I mean, it looks good, but it was kind of hard to work with. So this one I did add a little extra. So this one isn't going to fit nearly the same, which I might be disappointed with, but it's certainly going to be easier to get that cushion in. So I made it with space to make that happen. Now when I get here to this corner, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put that last pin in about a 1/2 inch, which is my seam allowance. And I want to make sure that nothing is in there that I don't want to sew. All right, let's sew this. Okay, so it is sewed, and now I'm going to turn it inside out, and see how I do. Or I guess I'm turning it right side out. Now I'm going to use my pencil again to push these corners out. I'm using the eraser, but I'm going to switch to the point so I can kind of fine tune it. Now my corners aren't perfect. I'm not very good at that, but it will work. This one came out pretty good. Okay. Here it is. So I'm going to put the cushion in only to mark it. It's tight. It's a good thing I left extra space. It's only the opening that's the problem. It's fitting once it's through the opening. And I think it's because I think the two sides are sewed, so I don't have the full opening. I'm actually really happy with how it fits once it's on there. Okay. So here's what I was telling you, how it fits a little looser. The reason it was so hard to get in was because I sewed here, here, and here. The only opening I have is this one seam, and that's why I had to wrestle with it so badly. So now I need to mark my cushion. And now I have to get it out enough to cut those openings. All right, that's as far as I've got to get. I have my strapping. And I'm putting it through the cushion because this is what Philip wants. He wants that to be like that. So now what I'm doing is I'm melting the ends so they won't fray. You kind of pinch it carefully because it is hot. Okay, that one's through. Now he wants this to go through the cushion so it doesn't move when he turns in the stand. So those are through. Now I can wrestle it back in. Now I need to feed the straps to the outside. I'm just going to put a pin so they don't go back through. Actually, I'm going to pin them together. To find out where I purchased this waterproof camouflage fabric, get the link in the description box. Okay. It's a little bit big, but it's going to work. Now I'll sew this side. My seam is sewn, so everything is sewn in. It fits a little loosely, which is going to be what it's going to be. Last thing to do is put on the buckles. I thought there was sewing involved with these, but there's not. These will clip around the hunting stand to hold the cushion in place so it won't get lost. So here they are. Well, thank you so much, friends, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for sewing with me today. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we ask that you hit that subscribe button. We sure appreciate it. You're helping our channel grow to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.